We're a bit lost here. It's really very complicated. It looks delicious. We're starving. The guests are a little disorientated. In this former cardboard factory in Paris, a temporary restaurant sprung up from November the 14th to the 18th, offering a unique culinary raclette experience. 5 chefs conjured up their own interpretations of this emblematic melted cheese dish. But at the table, everyone has their own part to play. With the team, we put together sheets explaining the various ingredients and the way to put the recipe together this evening. For each recipe, we decided on the utensils and actions needed for full enjoyment of the dish. A participative meal in which everyone brings his own ingredients from his fridge and in small bags. Bring those 2 over there. Ideas started coming to me once I'd understood what the raclette machine was all about, because I didn't know about it before working on this project. I created most of the recipes based around what I ate as a child in Japan. For example, there's a recipe with cabbage and calamari. Ingredients far removed from the traditional raclette recipe, and although cheese is well represented with camembert, blue cheese and Babybel, the key product was missing each evening. Raclette cheese is missing. We're reinventing melted cheese, reinventing the raclette concept in which everyone has their tiny little pan, but with totally different themes and personalities.
It's a rather more sophisticated version of the raclette. We use orange zest or other foods that in usual circumstances we wouldn't have thought to add.
These dinners were thought up by the Milk Factory, an association offering new concepts to promote dairy produce. We're situated somewhere between a culinary and an artistic experience.
There are 2 things to keep in mind. We are thinking about food and design on one hand, and the food we're going to eat, that is the culinary space offered by the cheese product, on the other.
Cheese, a traditional component of French gastronomy, is experiencing a makeover. From now on, we'll be proud to promote it. Sculptures will even be made from it. The cheese platter is also experiencing a facelift through the exhibition Design on a Plate until January the 14th at the Milk Factory premises in Paris.
The cheese platter is something generally considered quite boring, a little outdated, while it is supposed to glorify an extraordinary product.
Stéphane Bureau has dreamt up a series of cheese bells and a platter made from a large block of wood.
It looks very rustic from the outside, and then we open it, we find a polished marble platter, and it becomes a lot more precious. This expresses what I think of when I imagine cheese, which is something rather rough on the outside and something creamy within.
But consumer trends are changing. The platter is no longer indispensable. At the Rotonde restaurant in Paris, chef Gilles Choucroune has reinvented the well-known Morbier du Jura, a raw cow's milk cheese known for its central ash layer. He created 2 tasty morsels out of it, destined for buffets or dinner aperitifs.
Today, we are looking for light foods, sometimes fragranced, that are easily digestible, with simple ways of eating them. As a result, rediscovering a cheese like Morbier is really interesting because we can use it in a completely new way with this type of snacking, little morsels, which are easy to eat.
For the first tasty bite, we place basil, mint, coriander and uncooked soybean shoots inside a slice of Morbier which is dressed with a Thai sauce, and an even more surprising combination is the sweet bite with a Morbier and commis pear base.
We just place the pear quarter sideways on our slice of Morbier. We take a nice verbena branch and a few leaves, and we wrap the slice of Morbier around the pear and the verbena, and to offer a touch of sweetness, we then pour a small amount of apricot juice, which is tasted at the same time as we bite into this mouthful. We have this really creamy apricot juice side, and the pear, which is still slightly crunchy, which adds sweetness to the Morbier, which itself still remains noticeable.
More contemporary taste sensations aimed at young people who can't imagine a good meal without cheese.